So far, I've gotten a lot of questions. I would say frequently asked questions, and so I wanted to answer the most frequently asked questions. So I put them in this hat over here. How will you survive? First of all, I have saved up some money from working for the last 6 years. I specifically bought a two-family house so that I could sublet my unit, which then pays for the mortgage and the most of the home equity line of credit. I should have enough money if I only spend $50 a day to last me until October. But I'm trying to also, obtain sponsorships, and I want to go to every town and have lunch in that town and have dinner in that town. I would gladly exchange making a video for individual establishments in exchange for a tab, 20 bucks for lunch, 60 bucks including my meal and some drinks for dinner. And in exchange, I will actively try to bring people to that establishment and then promote them on social media. How long will it take? This trip goes from Troy to New Orleans. All told, it's about 5,000 miles. I'm only trying to go about 10 miles a day, and I estimate that it'll take me approximately 5 months. Do you have safety equipment like life jackets? I do, and it is the law. You have to have these things. In New York State, it's Section 40 of the navigation law, spells out what you need. I have been doing this for 15 years now, so I'm familiar with it, but you need basically personal flotation devices. If you're under 12, you must wear personal flotation devices while underway unless you are in the cabin. You need a whistle, you need an anchor line with a chain that's about 6 feet long, and then you want to put out 6 times the depth of the water that you're in. If you have an inboard engine, which I don't have, you need a backfire arrestor. You need type 5B fire extinguishers. For me, as a class 1 motor boat, I have to carry 1. They can't be greater than 12 years old or used. You need a flare gun as well as a visual distress device during the day. I don't really need it, but I have 2 fans to blow out any gas vapors that are back by the outboard. I'm a class 1, which is a boat that is 16 feet or over and less than 26 feet in length. You need to have navigation lights when you're underway. I have to have the following lights. First, a bright white light aft to show all around the horizon, and second, a combined lantern in the fore part of the vessel and lower than the white light aft, showing green to starboard and red to port, so fixed as to throw the light from the right ahead to 2 points abaft and to beam on their respective sides. Hi, Bobby. Your white navigation light has to be visible within 2 miles, and your colored lights have to be visible within 1 mile. The purpose of the colored lights is to show that what side of you is facing the other person. So if a person is looking at you from the side and they see a green light, they know that they are looking at your left side or port side, and therefore they know which direction you are moving in at night. Did you really quit your job? Yes, I did. No offense to my job, but I work for the government. There is a lot of rules about where you can get your outside income and how much time you can take off. And there's no possible way that I could predict and get permission to get outside income from different places that I'm thinking about getting it from ahead of time, even if I was to take an unpaid leave of absence. And secondly, I want to be able to write about whatever I want to say without it reflecting back on my job. So I can't have one. Will the boat float? I sure hope so. I'm hoping to test it out in 2 days, but it's really composed of a center boat that is a Lyman 1956 runabout. I've had that out in the water. It floated fine. A tree fell on it, damaged the top, so I couldn't really, it wasn't pretty anymore. So I figured I would use that for the center hull of my homemade boat. Because I had to take the superstructure off, I decided last year to flip it upside down, patch any holes, and put a coat of fiberglass on the bottom. That boat is rated to hold 5 passengers in 1956. There's no buoyancy rating to it, but it holds about 1,000 pounds. The 2 white pontoons come from a Hobie Cat sailboat, which is rated to have 800 pounds on board before it starts to diminish racing performance. So it can hold more than that. It's just that if you're trying to go 40 miles an hour and you start to overload it with more than 800 pounds, it's not going to perform. In addition, I've got 10 cans of spray foam all around the connections between this boat. Each can provides 46 pounds of buoyancy, so that's 460 pounds. So all total, I have about 2,000 pounds of buoyancy and probably about 1,800 pounds of equipment. Now that's not the buoyancy that holds it up above its waterline, above its gunnels or the sides of the boat. It's enough buoyancy to keep it at its waterline. So once I start to put 3 or 4 people on or more kit, as they call it, that'll start to weigh it down. It'll start to go below its waterline, which is the green area on the keel. It doesn't mean it's going to sink. It just means that it's going to have less performance ability. Where will you go to the bathroom? So I will go to the bathroom in gas stations. I will go to the bathroom in diners and coffee shops and bars. I also have a Black Card membership to Planet Fitness, so I can use those facilities and also take showers there. And I also have a composting toilet if I need it, but I want to try to use it as little as possible because I find it kind of disgusting. Do you need permission to use the locks? You need permission. You have to go up to the lock and either ring a bell or call them or radio them on channel 16 on your VHF radio. But you have permission. There's no fee, there's no permit. They're open to the public and there is no toll. How much food will you pack? I don't know. I'll pack some cans of food, some Lipton noodles, some Venetian sausages, some canned stuff. But the ability to get food along the way varies based on which particular waterway I'm on. The Erie Canal, it's very easy to get food every now and then. Hello, Jack. As I go down the Allegheny, you've got some protected waterland, and there's not a lot of industry or retail establishments along about 150 miles there. And then once I'm on the Ohio, it's a mix of industrial and urban and suburban. But a lot has changed with technology now. There is DoorDash, there is Grubhub. There's almost no reason for me to have to get off my boat and go inland for several miles to get food from a grocery store like I had to do in 2018 or when I was on the Hudson, 2005 to 2010. What about your cats? Apropos question. I specifically sublet my apartment to my friend who has a cat and is a cat-loving person. It was the #1 stressor that I have about this trip. I'm more worried about being apart from my cats than I am about my boat sinking or getting in any kind of trouble, because I have been with my cats now for 5 years and I've never been apart from them for more than 2 days. I thought about bringing them on the trip with me. I don't think that they would like it, so that's not fair. I thought about bringing them to my parents' house, who have 10 acres, and they also love cats. But the fact is, my cats love this neighborhood. They go in and out of the house. They go to the neighbors' houses. They have other cat friends. I think that they would be best off by staying here. And I just wanted to make sure that I had someone who would actually love them and give them affection rather than just throw some food out for them once a day. And where are you going? Okay, so that's the most important thing. The trip starts at Troy. It goes out the Erie Canal to Buffalo, 366 miles. Then I have to take the boat out because while people can do a great loop all the way down to Mississippi by going through the Great Lakes, I don't want to take my 21-foot boat onto waves with a wavelength of 21 feet or more sometimes. You know, the Great Lakes can get quite scary. So I'm going overland to the Allegheny River to East Brady. There is locks from there down to Pittsburgh. Once at Pittsburgh, you're on the Ohio River, and that goes 956 miles to Cairo, Illinois. At that point, there are no more locks, and there is a 3-mile-an-hour current. And so let me just bring up what I have for propulsion power here. I've got a 1965 65 horsepower Mercury outboard motor that hooks up to, it's hooked up to steering. It works. At least it did last year. I haven't started it. I'm going to start it again this year to make sure it still works. But I'm trying not to use gas. I'm trying to go really slow, and I don't want to use gas. It's a pain. It costs a lot of money, and it's messy and it smells bad. So I've also got 3 electric motors. Up here at the top of this boat is a solar panel array. Soon to be installed will be a wind generator. So hopefully those will charge my 2 banks of batteries. One bank is 3 lithium-ion batteries. The other is 3 deep cycle batteries like you would have in your car or a starting motor for your outboard. You can't really put those into the same bank. They're 2 different styles of battery, different chemistries. They don't mix well. So I had to charge one while having the other 3, run my 3 electric motors and then switch them out. There's also shore power. Not a lot of, but some places provide free power or power for a fee while you dock overnight. Those are my frequently asked questions. If you've got any other questions, feel free to put them down in the comments there, and I'll answer them in the next video or 2. And don't forget, if you're interested in boating and my writing, I've got a book. It's Coming of Age on the Hudson. And you can go to my website to get written blogs in case you can't, you want the updates, but you can't have the audio. That's DallasTrombley.com. Thank you.